Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And today we have a ton of things to address. And right now, for most of you watching, it's actually still a live stream, but eventually these things turn into a video. But long story short, today we're going to be talking about an open letter to Congress that addresses some of the failures of the SEC. You're already seeing it right in front of you. It is very interesting. It's a pretty long thread, but it gets your blood pumping because once more, there's just so many questions being asked and the SEC kind of fails to answer them. Then we're going to head over into a very interesting find because apparently the SEC FinHub website has a very peculiar message on it regarding ICOs. So I also want to quickly cover that for you guys. Then we'll head over into an article that talks about the Ethereum ICO that's being overlooked. Very, very interesting. And then a little bit after that, we're going to head over into a little bit more about the Songbird flare news to set the record straight for everybody that was confused after my video from late this morning or last night, depending on when you watched it. All right, I'll try to leave the timestamps below in the comments section. So I'm going to kind of take like a second to take a picture every time of the time that we're starting a new subject. I'm trying something new, okay? I've read you guys' comments. Some of you said we don't like live streams because they get not really easy to spot when there's real news and when you're talking. So I'll leave all the questions for the end of the live stream, and I'll also try to timestamp that, all right? Once more, guys, if you ever have any tips or anything like that, you can always leave them down below, but please be respectful and I'll always try to better myself. Let me quickly close the window though, because you know, in the Netherlands there's quite a lot of planes that, you know, come over your head pretty pretty damn close, and otherwise you're gonna keep hearing that sound every single time. All right, so let's take our first little picture and let's dive right into the news for right now. All right, rough draft, open letter to Congress. The SEC has failed to perform all three of its missions. 1. Protect investors. 2. Maintain fair markets. 3. Facilitate capital formation. Now, I took a little bit of a look at everything that has been written down or writing down. And actually, guys, it's really the truth. If you look at it, their mission, their core values, because of the Ripple v. SEC lawsuit, but not only at that, we have basically noticed they really aren't doing their job properly. You can't say it's now a fair market because, well, some crypto have an advantage over others, and we as investors don't really know why. We can't really say that they're protecting investors, and you guys get the picture, all right? The core principles of what the SEC is supposed to do are not being done properly, and I don't think anybody can actually come and say that they are doing it well. Now, 1. The SEC alleges that all sales of XRP are illegal sales of securities. The SEC is potentially incriminating the exchanges and retail investors, and then the SEC admits in writing to a judge that they never warned any third parties that they believe XRP is a security. So the difficult part in that is that, well, even though we can get that the SEC might think that something is a security because it's an own freaking right to think something like that, it's not fair if you tell people or tell exchanges that they should have known better or that they were in violation or allowing for some wrong stuff, when in reality, they themselves did not warn anybody or potentially did not know themselves. And that's something which we've been sharing for a couple of days right now. These two specific little things here. That made the offers and sales of XRP the offers and sales of an investment contract. The XRP traded even in the secondary market is the embodiment of those facts, circumstances, promises, and expectations, and today represents that investment contract. And incorrectly reframing the inquiry from the legally correct view of what the investment contract is, the XRP's offer and sale in the particular context. To Moven's narrow review, the XP itself makes no difference to what Movens really care about, digital asset trading platforms listing of XRP. Once more, John Dean saying, the SEC is not only claiming when Ripple sells the token as a security, but it's arguing that all XRP, including secondary market sales of XRP, by non-Ripple entities are all securities. And the second picture here is about one of the admissions, basically. So the SEC in this one basically said, once more, like we address right here, that they never warned any single party of these sales or whatnot. Let me actually quickly, guys, share the stream over in my alerts Telegram, because I also have to do that every single time. I promised you all I would share it every single time, and I kind of forgot. I'll quickly head over into the alerts Telegram. There we go. Paste, and boom, there we go. And please, guys, if you think it is clickbait, please don't comment it down below under my videos. Just send me a little message over in the Telegram or so, and I'll instantly try to change the title for you guys. Once more, there's no real benefit in me trying to clickbait you into something, because 70% of the people watching are already subscribed to my channel. So I just try to make the most exciting title, but it always has to be true, in my own opinion. If you don't agree, please, guys, just let me know in in Telegram, and I'll try to change it, because ultimately it's all for you. Okay, please. All right. So the SEC claims that capital formation using distributed ledger technology is a security when the market uses it like a commodity or currency. And this, once more, is from the SEC official website. A part of what we're going to be talking about later also refers to these DAO tokens. Let's see. The Commission's message to issuers and market professionals in this space was clear. Those who would use distributed ledger technology to raise capital or engage in security transactions must take appropriate steps to ensure compliance with the federal security laws. The report and subsequent statements also explain that the use of such technology does not mean that an offering is necessarily problematic under those laws. The registration process itself, or exemptions from registration, are available for offerings employing those novel methods. Now, if we move forward or further a little bit, let's actually see where's number 3. Oh, we also went over 3 right now. Let's see, all right? Number 4 here, they're saying inconsistent treatment of ICOs. Ethereum held ICO, but evolved, so it's fine now. DAO ICO investigated and deemed security, but no further action was taken. Neither XRP or Ripple held an ICO, and Ripple was sued anyway. And so I have a little bit more info on that one, but I believe it's actually the one we're going to be talking about next. There's some overlapping evidence, though, guys, because, well, you can see here, it's basically the same thing being talked about in different parts. However, I'll read both these things in, basically chapter number 2 here, which is going to come out in like a couple of minutes. So, because again, I'm going to try to timestamp these things for y'all to make sure it's really overseeable. Overzichtelijk in Dutch. I don't know the English word for it. Overviewable, I think. Part 2 of that is market confusion fostered by regulators giving guidance and then attempting to avoid responsibility of it, which once more is a very douchey thing to do. If I give my personal opinion here, the SEC is supposed to make things exactly clear, right? That's their exact purpose. So when they're first of all giving some quote-unquote clarity on crypto, then saying, yeah, we discussed it with the SEC to make sure it can be sent out, but then ultimately it not being an SEC opinion, but just a personal one, yet other SEC members thinking it is official, all that stuff is really confusing to the markets. Again, the second part about it is Gary Gensler thinks Ethereum is a security. Jay Clayton thinks there's been no ICO that hasn't been a security except for Ethereum from a certain perspective. But then again, we all know Ethereum and Jay Clayton are kind of connected, and Jay Clayton got a lot of money for working for a company that also, is really bullish on Ethereum. The circle comes around, and it's kind of strange because nobody knows exactly what to expect. And, well, if you follow the rules over on the SEC website, you notice that most ICOs really are bad, or I should say security. Yet, once more, Ethereum wasn't, and we're trying to find out exactly why that's the case. And I personally can't figure out exactly why. Here he quotes, this event, this is the digital asset transaction when Howie met Gary. This is the big speech from William Hinton. This event provides a great opportunity to address a topic that is subject to a considerable debate in the press and in the crypto community, whether a digital asset offered as a security can over time become something other than a security, which once more, you can't see this, and I do, and most of us do, you can't see this as clarity, right? Because that's literally the purpose that he mentioned right here. And you can also see the confusion when they're also trying to explain how some ICOs are not that bad. And later on, from again the SEC, they quote, the SEC disclaims responsibility for any private publication or statement of any SEC employee or commissioner. This speech expresses the author's views and does not necessarily reflect those of the commission, the commissioners, or other members of the staff. Which once more leaves us to wonder, so who exactly was this meant for if it's just an opinion, but after so many deliberations and so many emails, Why? What? It's just so confusing. And that's again why I keep shouting that the media needs to pick it up and start talking about this, because people don't understand. And the literal purpose of the SEC is to make things safe for people, but also overseeable, as I said. All right, then point 3 of that, though, well, let's come back to it, is they're also ignoring capital building. Then years later, using the courts to confiscate that same capital does not count as facilitating capital formation because they're not making it easy. Belinda here in the chat box says, can we just move on and be done with this stuff? If only it was that easy, huh? Point number 7, September 18th, 2018, multiple members of Congress sent an open letter to the SEC to encourage more clarity and to discourage clarity through enforcement. So it's a pretty long one. We've actually covered this before. We read the entire letter because once more, the questions are, now I'll quickly read that for you guys. The SEC should clarify the criteria used to determine when offers and sales of digital tokens should properly be considered investment contracts and therefore offerings of securities. Question or statement number 2 is, do you agree that a token originally sold in an investment contract can nonetheless be a non-security, as Mr. Hinman, in his prior statement, literally again right here, kind of, has stated before. Is that possible? How, when, and all that? They basically want to know, right? Is it possible? Can the resultant token be analyzed separately from the original purchase agreement, which may clearly be an investment contract? And that has to do with Ethereum, right? Ethereum's ICO, clearly investment contract. But, I said Ethereum, yes. Afterwards, they said, if we ignore the initial coin offering, it's fine. So is that an official rule? Is that the way that they determine these things? And so should we set 2 different measures for, okay, a crypto can be an ICO, but they can't, and so a security at the start, but they can grow out of it? Is that an official rule? Yes or no? And if so, could the resultant token nonetheless be a non-security? And number 3, please describe the tools available to the SEC to offer more concrete guidance to innovators on these topics. So how can we work to make things better? And Jameson also says, I think we need Valerie. Where is Valerie Spanik? Zepanik? I don't remember how exactly we pronounce that, guys. I try my best. He also did not tag me, so I didn't find it. However, after doing a little bit of digging and looking a couple of things up, I noticed that he tweeted this entire thread. I retweeted it as well, because it's very freaking interesting, all these questions, and I really, really enjoyed it. So my conclusion of this is, yes, the court or the public, the media, it doesn't really matter what, needs to start addressing some of these issues, and regulations need to come for crypto. However, even though I'm really bullish, I would say, on regulations coming in, because I've said to you guys before, I think it's a short-term, very negative influx, but long-term, crucial, critical for the crypto space. I am not exactly sure if I would like the SEC to have full control over it. And what I mean with that is that I think regulation need to come, but I wouldn't like the SEC to make all the rules and tell us exactly what it's going to be, because then they have too much power. If you ask me, that's not the way we would want it, right? That's not the way we would want it at all. All right, let me take screenshot number 2. There we go. Let's move over into topic number 2. So, like I just said, from SEC FinHub website, we all know the SEC allowed Ethereum to conduct an ICO. Now, look at the DAO ICO. It took Ethereum as payment. This article details over and over how the DAO ICO was not exempt from selling security. So they basically didn't have proper thumbs up from the SEC. Then, out of nowhere, the agency has decided not to bring charges. And that is very peculiar, because what thought process went into that then? Let's quickly read it out. This is 2017, or is that just a specific? No, it's 2017. So the SEC issues investigative report concluding DAO tokens, a digital asset, were securities. So the U.S. security laws may apply to offer sales and trading of interest in virtual organizations. The SEC issued an investigative report today cautioning market participants that offer and sales of digital assets by virtual organizations are subject to the requirements by the federal security laws. Such offers and sales conducted by organizations using yada, yada, yada. You guys get the idea? Now, the SEC report stems from an inquiry that the agency's enforcement division launched into whether the DAO and associated entities and individuals violated federal security laws with unregistered offers and sales of DAO tokens in exchange for Ether, a virtual currency. The DAO has been described as a crowdfunding contract, that's literally the description, but it would not have met the requirements of the regulation crowdfunding exemption because, among other things, it was not a broker-dealer or a funding portal registered with the SEC and the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. So, quote, the innovative technology behind these virtual currencies does not exempt security offerings. They're basically, once more, the SEC, right, and FinCEN saying, even though they were launching something kind of cool, they're not exempt from the normal security laws and trading platforms from the regulatory framework designed to protect investors and the integrity of the markets, said Stephanie Avakian, co-director of the SEC Enforcement Division. Now, a little bit below that, though, Steve Paikin, co-director of Enforcement Division, added, as the evolution of technology continues to influence how businesses operate and raise capital, market participants must remain cognizant of the application of the federal security laws. So you would kind of think from this entire top part, wait a minute. Plurian says, breaking. Ripple's legal team tells Fox Business they have no plans to settle with the SEC over lawsuit. I'm not sure if that's actually breaking news. I'll check it out. However, as I've explained 1,000 times on the channel before, Ripple and the SEC do not want to settle on their own because Ripple has gotten the option to settle before and they denied it, right? I told you guys this. This was in the initial complaint as well. That basically, no, not the initial complaint, the initial letter that Brett Garlinghouse sent to their employees. So that's not really big news. Once more, a settlement in our case would most likely be the judge basically deciding, hey, Ripple's won. That's kind of the quote-unquote settlement, the decision maker basically. But I will check it out, Plane. I'll check it out. I'll quickly make sure I keep on track, and I'll check it out a little bit later. Now, once more, guys, the first part of this letter basically shows, hey, the DAO ICO that they had, it's wrong. Right? Because you took Ethereum for payment, you weren't exempt. Now, in light of the facts and circumstances, the agency has decided not to bring charges in this instance or make findings of violations in the report, but rather to caution the industry and market participants. The federal security laws apply to those who offer and sell securities in the United States, whether the issuing entity is a trading blah, 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 blah. Why was it now exempt yet again? Why, oh why, oh why? I really don't know, but I can't figure it out. And this, guys, is really getting kind of on my nerves. It's like Ripple had no ICO, boom, wrong, sued, bam. DAO, Ethereum, they all had ICOs, nah, they're exempt, they're fine. Where is it in the rules? What makes an ICO exempt, basically? How, why, where? How does that freaking work? And why can't they just put up some freaking information online as to how we can consider this for ourselves? This is so freaking stupid. I'm kind of losing my chill here, guys, because it's mind-bogglingly strange if you were to ask me. I don't get why. But all right, that's the information on that part. Let's not, digress too much. It's just really, really peculiar to me. Andrew says, another live video. Only Dusty, the man, can give you the best live updates. XP and Dusty setting the standard. Thank you very much for stopping by and saying hi, my friend. I appreciate every single one of you stopping by and saying hi to the channel. You guys are all amazing. All right, Michael put over on Twitter, inquiring minds want to know, why was Ethereum blessed while Ripple was sued? Why does Coinbase get a Will's notice while crypto leaders like Ava, or lender like Ava, built on Ethereum platform get a pass? The way it's looking like right now, kind of almost everything that is connected to to Ethereum themselves has gotten a free pass. We've got DAO, which again was payable with Ethereum, fine. We got Ava, which used to be called ETHLend, which again was based on Ethereum, fine. We got Ethereum themselves, which is fine, but then Coinbase wants to do the same thing, wrong. Every other ICO platform wants the same thing as DAO, wrong. Every freaking company that's kind of the same way as Ethereum, wrong. It's just peculiar, it's very strange, and I don't still understand why. Now, in terms of similarities, it's actually really hard to pinpoint where exactly the similarities lie. It's mostly the questions being asked, though, that are, I guess, important for the matter. So, once more, guys, we have no conclusion as to if there's any logic behind going after Ripple but not Ethereum. We will only find that out once the people speak out. So, if, for example, these guys like Charles get it actually to talk about on Fox, we can get some really big ball rolling, in that type of regard. We can get some really big things going. But if not, I'm not sure that the SEC is going to ever speak up on this themselves, and they are the only entity that can actually let it be known to us, basically. So, yeah, that's annoying, but that's the way it is. All right, that's just the way it is right now. And all this talk here, it's cool, it's nice, but we can't find the logic. He is talking about SEC sources tell Fox the logic of the agency's case versus Ripple is that the company's infrastructure is still being built out. So XRP, the token which was used to finance the thing, is considered a security. Ethereum's infrastructure is totally built out and has been for years, thus is clearly a commodity. Hester Pierce argues that all may be the case, but as the SEC splits hairs, crypto innovation is being stifled. So what's needed is a safe harbor that pulls back all this enforcement action and developing some proper clear rules. I mean, it's very peculiar as it currently stands. I can't give you guys the full rundown on it. It's just strange. Okay. Somebody says the Bybit bonus has expired. Okay, Vinya, I'm going to actually take a picture of what you're saying. I'll look into that after the live stream and take a picture of the time so we can get back into the next topic or further. So, a little bit of info on Songbird. I saw a lot of people don't understand exactly how it works, and people were angry that I called my video that Flare is live. Now, guys, how this works is Songbird is a canary network. So, they basically put it down here. A canary network is an operational blockchain with a defined and hence scarce token supply that is intended to be used to test features for a related main net. After sufficient testing of the F-asset contracts, which will happen later, Flare will be launched and Songbird will become the testing ground for governance-based changes to Flare. What they've done is basically the same way as they did with Polkadot and Kusama. You launch a network that is basically the same as the official thing, but that you can run tests on to make sure you don't screw up the entire real network. It's basically kind of like a test net, kind of a fake test net, but with real economic consequences. So you're not going to use it as your normal small little test net. No, the test net phase is before you actually deploy it on Canary, and the Canary is basically before you deploy it on the real thing. That's kind of in the way you should look at it. So if Songbird launches, the actual Flare is kind of launched, but kind of a pre-version of it. But it's basically the same thing. People will call it a clickbait. It hasn't launched. I haven't seen my Flare. That's because even though the network has launched and it's officially there, there's a couple restrictions. First of all, the public RPC needs to be shared before you can actually pick up and see your tokens, basically. That's one thing. The second thing is, even though it's been sent to exchanges, that does not mean that you can actually get it yet because the exchange needs to send it to you. And third of all, well, there's just a ton of questions which I don't really get because I explained them in my previous video. The 27th of September is when it will go from observation view only into real mode basically. So that will be another 2 weeks-ish or week and a half, I guess, from now on forward. Somebody says you can actually get another airdrop. There's actually quite a lot of airdrops most likely that you can get left, right? I mean, there's a lot of different things which you can most likely get if you really put your mind to it. However, once more, guys, if you claimed your tokens yourself through Ledger, wait a little bit for the RPC to be shared. Go through the steps which are shared online at that point. If you have your money on exchanges, just wait and it'll be sent to you. It cannot be there just quite yet. You'll have to wait. Like I said in the previous video, but people sometimes comment things before actually listening or thinking. You cannot see your crypto. Let me just say it once more. You cannot see your Songbird yet. Flare itself will not be launched for a pretty long time. The Songbird will officially go quote-unquote live the 27th of September. And Moonlambo this is what Mike said. Moonlambo made a video 6 hours ago titled, Flare has distributed tokens to all your addresses. I don't believe so. If that's the case, then I'm missing something, but I don't believe they did that. I think he's also talking about the same thing which I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't think about it in any other way. I think he's talking about the exact same thing which I'm talking about here. The update is just the Songbird is launched is the precursor of Flare basically, but it's kind of the same thing. Kusama with Polkadot, everybody knows how it works by now, I think. At least I thought so, but people generally speaking don't, I guess, by now. So it's basically kind of the testnet version of the real thing. Since the testnet version kind of is launched, the official thing is actually in some sort of strange fashion also there now too. So that's that. Gerard says, my XP are burning up due to the amount of airdrops I have. How can your XP burn up because of it? Yeah, so if you guys have any questions about the Songbird flare thing, just watch this part again, because there can't be any questions now anymore. I don't know exactly what type of question you can have. Flare itself, the Flare FLR Spark, will be there maybe next month, maybe at the end of this month. Most likely a little bit after the 27th of September, after Songbird has been distributed properly. And how much you'll get, it's a 0.15 ratio to your XRP, but you'll see. All right, you'll see. Everybody's going to get the same amount, so who cares what the ratio is going to be? I don't really care. Even if we get 15, 1.5, 0.15, it's all the same thing. All right. So once more, guys, that was it on the Songbird part. And then I had one more little thing to show you guys here. I was watching a Bearable Bull video, right? And it was actually on Instagram. They were basically talking about Flare, and I think there's a small little misconception that people have. It's not as if you can actually use everything on Flare straight to the bat here. Things need to come in gradually and slowly, and it'll be a long time before every crypto and the major cryptos will be integrated as an F asset on Flare via Flare Finance, on Flare networks. It'll take some time, and the Songbird thing, most likely the majority of you guys are never going to interact with it at all. It's just basically free money, and again, something you can use on Flare Finance to earn money with. There's just a lot of things being built, but it takes time. It really, really does take time. And so if you're here for the quick little gains, guys, this just ain't it. XRP in general is not really a quick gains type of crypto, even though some people seem to really think so. I just wanted to quickly reiterate that. And yeah, guys, hopefully you like this quicker overview that I've done here. I noticed that's actually quite a lot of people who tuned in. I really, really appreciate that. I just now saw as well a $5 Australian donation by Zen Solo. Very much appreciated, my friend. He says, hiya, with a nice little dog emoji. Very much appreciated, my friend. I'm going to request you all to press that like button, as it helps the video perform just a little bit better after I've turned it from a live stream into a video. As you guys know by now, that's always what I do. So did we like the live stream already? I don't know if you guys did it already. Let's get to 250 likes. We've had about 4,000 people say hi to the stream, which once more is just splendid, amazing. I am so honored every time to get you guys all here. However, the likes, they just help the video perform a little bit better, which is why I sometimes ask you to press that button. A little bit later now, I'm going to take a look at what you guys said about this settlement and expect a video to come up within the hour where I explain everything. And if you guys want any more talk about the price or anything like that, just always request it in the comment section. I try to look at it because, once more, guys, I just try to explain things which are not clear. However, I'm going to try to keep this style from now on forward. Just explain things really, really properly in a more overviewable type of manner, so people can just kind of watch the live in hindsight as well, without always having to be there to get it, basically. All right. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed this live stream. If you did, once more, make sure you press the subscribe button and maybe the like button. And I'll see you guys again in another update pretty shortly later today.